Hey guys, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I've got my Pan Those Eyeshadows video for you, and I'm really excited about this one because I feel like I worked really hard on the eyeshadows that I had in for the month of August. So I have my EYN Nude palette from Beauty Bay, and this is what it looks like. But before I show you, I'll just insert like a little screenshot of where I was at last month's update so I can show you where I was starting from. And this is where I'm at now. So what I'm going to do is just show you sort of like an overview of the eyeshadows, and then I'll sort of bring you in a bit closer and run you through the eyeshadows that I use the most. So on the top row of eyeshadows, I used this one in the inner corner quite a few times. I use this with a little mini beauty blender to set underneath my eyes, to set my concealer underneath my eyes. And as you can see, I did hit pan on that one. And then I didn't really use the Vanilla Latte shade or really any other ones on the top row apart from Raw Sienna, which I did use a couple of times. But then on the second row down, the main eyeshadows I used were Maple Syrup and Nutmeg. These two really warm browny red shades, and I used those because of my hair colour for August. So obviously I wanted really warm shadows to sort of tie in that look. And also I even used Nutmeg, so the more sort of the lighter of the two shades. I used that even to like touch up a little bit at my roots, because my hair is a really ashy blonde colour naturally, and it just looks really jarring when it comes through with this kind of bright red colour. So I would just take a bit of that and sort of with a fluffy eyeshadow brush just sort of run it around my hairline, and it just sort of helped to blend in my roots a little bit. But these are probably going to be the last videos you see with me having red hair anyway, so I am going to be dyeing my hair very soon a different colour, and you might be able to guess what colour from my eyeshadows that I picked for September, but we'll get onto that in a minute. And then the sort of first row of really foiled shimmery metallic shades here was the row of eyeshadows that I focused on the most, and you can probably tell that from the difference from last update. So I have just a tiny little amount of pan on this one, which I only used a couple of times, but I just managed to hit pan by doing that. And then this one here, this Honesty shade, I used a lot as an inner corner highlight, and also very occasionally a highlight on the face, and obviously hit pan quite a bit on that one. And then this one I'd say I used the most out of all of the eyeshadows in this palette. This one's called Lumos. And I chose this one to focus on because it is that beautiful, as you can see it works really well with these really toned matte shades. But it's like a lovely metallic kind of burnt pink, I'd say, pinky red. And that all over the lid just looked really lovely. Swatch it here. There you go, you can kind of see a bit better there. And those warm pink shades really work well with my blue eyes. I used polish a few times, this one next to it. The B is kind of worn off slightly. I have that on my eyelids today as the sort of all over lid shade. And then these sort of bronzy ones I didn't really use too much, apart from Salted Caramel. I used that a couple of times. And then, in terms of the rest of the palette, I used Hot Cocoa just to deepen up looks ever so slightly. But the trouble is with these sort of deeper brown shades is that I'm not reaching for them too much, because I've got my Tartelette palette that I'm using for my Pan That palette. And obviously I'm really trying to focus on using that one up. And so I'd much rather use the dark brown in that one to help move that out than these, because I can always come back to these ones. And then I also use the bottom row of this palette a lot. And in particular I've focused a lot on Gunmetal Groove, which is this dark shimmery charcoal blue colour. And I really love this bottom row of blues. I just think it looks so beautiful, especially with like blue and brown eyes. And then lastly I also use Decadence a lot, which is this brown, just to literally see what it looked like on my complexion, because I've never used that kind of shade before. So yeah, that was my progress on my Beauty Bay palette. As I said before, when I've rotated this one in earlier on in the year, and as I said in that update, I will definitely be returning to this palette because it's basically the only other big eyeshadow palette I have now, other than like my Z palettes or my Z palettes. So what I'll do is I'll move on to showing you the eyeshadows I have chosen for the month of September. September is my favourite month of the year. It is my birthday month, and I love it because it's like the start of autumn, and it is really, really very autumnal here at the moment in the UK. It's like chilly and like very cosy. It's starting to get a bit darker in the evenings now. So I've chosen my eyeshadows to reflect that, and also to reflect the hair colour that I'm going to go. So the first eyeshadow I've chosen is Cocoa Bear by Makeup Geek. I don't think I've had this in this project before. It's the most stunning deep mahogany chocolatey brown, and it works absolute wonders for my eye colour. It just makes my blue eyes really pop. It's up there with one of my favourite eyeshadows that I have from Makeup Geek, along with Legend, which is my hands down all-time favourite eyeshadow, maybe ever, but definitely from Makeup Geek. And that's what this one looks like. I have a little bit of pan on this one already, and so you could definitely tell this is like one of my favourites. I like half try and savour this, and then half just can't stop reaching for it. So that's why I've already hit pan on it. But I'm going to definitely work a lot on this one and try and move this one out by the end of the year, just because I don't need to like cling on to makeup anymore. I'm past that now. And then the next eyeshadow I have is it's the Magic Act eyeshadow from Makeup Geek. And if I didn't say already, the Legend is a foiled one, as is this one, Magic Act. And and again, I'd have to say this is definitely in my top 3 eyeshadows from Makeup Geek. It's just a stunning light gold eyeshadow. That's what it looks like swatched. And it just works all over the lid, or if I'm doing a different coloured makeup look, I can put this in the inner corner. So I'm really hoping to get this one also moved out of my collection pretty soon. Again, not because I don't love it, but I'm trying not to like hoard. And then the last one from Makeup Geek that I'm throwing in is going to be Tiki Hut, and it's a matte eyeshadow. And I've chosen this one because it is very, very similar to the brown that I had in my Tarte Look palette. Have I got that with me? The brown that was in the Tarte Look palette was called Wanderer. And it was a very, very similar shade to this one, but I've completely used that up now. And I just think this, just as a transition shade, just to sort of replace that, the way I was using that one, is going to work really well. Especially it's an easy brown shade, so it's definitely going to work with the other eyeshadows I've picked. Like this in the crease, Tiki Hut in the crease, with Magic Act all over the lid, and then Legend on the lower lash line. All-time favourite look. And then the last one I've picked is an eyeshadow that I've literally never used before, and it is from MAC. It's a single eyeshadow. I got it in a Christmas calendar not the Christmas just gone, but the one before that. And it's called Tempting. It's a luster eyeshadow. And I have swatched it, but I've never used it. So I just thought, do you know what, now is the perfect time to put it out, because it is that lovely bronze. This is what I would call like a classic bronze colour. So sort of like, do you remember Back to the Bronze? What was it called? Is it called Back to the Bronze or Bad to the Bronze? From Maybelline. It was like their colour tattoo. This is like that, but in an eyeshadow. That's what it looks like. And I will swatch it. It's just a lovely, lovely bronze shimmer shade. I would class like both of these colours as bronze, but this is like a warm bronze and this is more of a cool tone neutral bronze. So those are the 5 eyeshadows that I have chosen to work on in September. I really am looking forward to panning these eyeshadows. I just think I've been working on like really bright colourful looks the last couple of months. As you know, I've been using a lot of oranges and reds and bright colours, so I'm really looking forward to getting back to like a neutral brown look. Boring, basic, but brilliant. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, then please do subscribe to my channel. I do lots and lots of panning videos, pan at palette, project pan, and also lots of other just general minimalism videos, because I'm really trying to minimise my makeup collection down to the point where I want it, which is just a minimal routine. So I've got a lot of work to do, but I'd love to have you on this journey with me. And other than that, I will see you in my next video.